Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is the top of the hour, Tuesday, the 24th of April, 2018. Welcome this evening to our Skyway Invest Group opportunity presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going through tough times right now. The price of living seems to be increasing each and every year, with pay parity not keeping up to the expectation, i.e. We can't buy as much today as what we could 10 years ago for the same $100 that we get in our pay packet each and every week. It seems the cost of living is increasing, and of course real estate is also increasing. Those of us that have children, young children, are starting to wonder how we are ever going to be able to help our children get into a property of their own and have that dream. So ladies and gentlemen, this evening I want to show you an opportunity that potentially you could change all of that. You could certainly learn how the wealthy get and stay wealthy, but more importantly, you could learn how you could buy yourself or get yourself a piece of history. So ladies and gentlemen, my name is Andrew Hawkes. I'm a father first and foremost. I am a manager here with Skyway Invest Group, the company that I am about to tell you about this evening. I am a Skyway co-owner, which is the technology that I'm going to share with you this evening that I believe is going to evolutionize the way that we do transport logistics with people and with freight. I am one of 8 English-speaking certified master profit coaches worldwide for our company. I'm a private investor in and of my own right. I've been marketing online for over 10 years and haven't really had a job in that time, so I haven't really needed to. And in 2015, I wrote a book called Rivers of Gold, How to Create Multiple Income Streams, because I am incredibly passionate about showing people how they can leverage off their own knowledge and create income from that. So ladies and gentlemen, before we go any further, I do want to run through our compliance disclaimer here. We're going to talk about a few things this evening. MLCI, multi-level crowd investing. It's a new term that we are coining in the marketplace, and that will make a lot more sense as we go through this evening. EIPs, educational information products. You can also hear them referred to as educational investment packages. We talk about PIPEs, pre-IPO private equity shares. Of course, an IPO stands for an initial public offering. If you're still unsure of what that means, it's basically when a company is listed on the stock exchange for the very first time. It's called an IPO, an initial public offering. So please note, we are not selling, nor are we licensed to sell shares. All countries have their own rules on the sale of financial products, and we respect the laws of the land. Generally speaking, most countries allow the sale of information products without a special license. We are not selling shares. We are offering an opportunity to participate in a wealth creation education which provides the fundamental principles on which wealth is created and retained. For doing so, you receive PIPEs as a gift or free bonus if you like. That is pre-IPO private equity shares in the Skyway technology that we are about to look at. We do not offer financial advice, and you shouldn't either unless licensed to do so in your area of residence. Only general information is given and should be noted. Please do your own due diligence or seek confirmation from a licensed accountant or financial advisor in your area of compliance, state or country. So ladies and gentlemen, we are not selling anything here this evening. I'm sorry if you are here to buy shares. You are in the wrong place. We do not do that here. What do we do? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman on the screen, Dr. Anatoly Yunitsky, an absolute genius of a man, has developed a fundamentally new transport system. He's been working on it now for a good 40 years. He started when he was in university as a young man, and he believes it is the solution to a lot of our transport woes worldwide, and I tend to agree with him. So we have created a fundamentally new transport system which is eco-friendly, safe, comfortable, and significantly cheaper compared to all existing solutions, having passed a wide range of international expert evaluations for the innovative Skyway string technology. Now, originally called Yunitsky String Technology, it is now referred to as Skyway. To give you a little bit of history on Dr. Anatoly Yunitsky, in 2001, he was awarded a grant from the United Nations for $1 million, essentially to prove his concept. And well, here we are. A few years later, his concept is definitely proven, and it is about to be taken up on a global scale. So watch this space in the next few months. It's very interesting what is about to take place. Now, Dr. Yunitsky has also received the coveted Golden Chariot Award, and he's been awarded that award. It's a mouthful when you say it like that, isn't it? He's actually received that 3 times, and that is for innovation in transport. And guess what? It is for the Skyway string technology. This land here, ladies and gentlemen, this picture we have in front of us, Eco Techno Park. It's a land area of 36.86 hectares. in Belarus, Marina Gorka. It was gifted by the Belarusian government to Dr. Unitsky for a testing and certification facility. So that means we can build and test all of our products up there, and we're almost fully funded and completed that park. You can see there 1, 2, 3. They're the different designations of rail. We have a rigid, a semi-rigid, and we have a suspended solution there. Now, originally, the high-speed system or testing facility was also going to be built at Marina Gorka there in Belarus. However, that is now moved to another location, and there'll be some news being released about that in the very, very near future. So the Belarusian government gifted this land to Dr. Unitsky because they could see the promise in the transport. And there's a good chance that they cut some sort of deal and said, hey, if we give you the land, then perhaps you'll look after us when it comes time to implement this in our country. And they are one of the countries with MOUs to implement it. Now, I mentioned the high speed. This is for intercity passenger transportation, if you like. There is one proposed here between Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne. So we will hopefully in the next few years, we might see something like that up and running here. Speeds up to 500 kilometers an hour, performance of up to 500,000 passengers per day. As I said, that was originally going to be tested at Marina Gorka, but they've decided that, hey, if we could do a testing facility somewhere and then potentially extend that track and make it a commercially viable project, would that not make more economic sense? And of course, it does. This one here, ladies and gentlemen, the Urban Skyway, also known as the Unibus. It's designed for short distances up to 200 kilometers, and it has a speed of up to 150 kilometers an hour. Performance, it can move 50,000 passengers an hour. Now, if you know anything about the Gold Coast, we had the Commonwealth Games a couple of weeks ago, and our transport system took over 3 hours to move 30,000 people from the games venue on the first night, from the opening ceremony. So this is obviously a much, much better payload than that. This one here, ladies and gentlemen, the Cargo Skyway, or Unitruck as it's also known. Speeds of up to 150 kilometers an hour, with performance being able to move over 200 million tons per year. Now, this is really good for mining companies, and there are, in fact, a few mining companies that have already been spoken to about this here in Australia, because it's much cheaper to implement, and it can stand up to the elements a lot more than a haul road or a traditional rail system. This is also good for farmers if they wanted to get their wheat to the market. This is a cheap way for them to implement a transport system of their own, sort out their own logistics, so they don't have to pay freight companies. This one, ladies and gentlemen, the Unibike, designed for short distances. This one would be incredibly good around theme parks, etc. This also has a pedal box in it, so you can actually ride this like a bike, and it will go up to 150 kilometers an hour. It comes through various iterations. You can see there, luxury right through to universal, and comes in a single-seater right up to 5 seats, which is very, very cool. So if we look now at our competitor analysis, we've got Skyway right at the top there, 500 kilometers an hour. Safety is very high. Cost per kilometer to build, only $3 to $8 million a kilometer. It is eco-friendly, and it can be built anywhere, so it is incredibly adaptable. It can be built in any terrain. It can be built through the sea, through the jungle, through the desert. Magnetic levitation train, up to 600 kilometers an hour. It has a high safety standard, $106 million a kilometer to build, ladies and gentlemen. It must be built on flat ground, so a lot of that cost comes into the engineering to make sure that that's a viable option. $106 million a kilometer. So we've then also got the Hyperloop. Obviously, there is a lot in the media about the Hyperloop lately, certainly the last little while. Up to 1,300 kilometers an hour. It's moderated safety system or safety standard. Up to $100 million a kilometer to build. In fact, most engineers would tell you that it will cost much more than that per kilometer to build. Again, must be built on flat ground. And because it is a vacuum tube, it must have an incredibly straight tube for one, but it can also be ill of defects. It cannot have any defects in it. If there's any hole in it, then you have no vacuum. And I personally wouldn't want to be strapped into a tin can and shot 1,300 kilometers an hour through a vacuum tube. Interestingly enough, Dr. Unitsky did actually research this himself earlier in the years, and he abandoned the research because he believed it wasn't viable as a transport solution. Elon Musk actually picked up that research and continued it. And here today we see the Hyperloop. Again, they don't have a working model anywhere, and they're a little ways away from having a commercial reality yet. We've got a monorail in there up to 80 kilometers an hour, a high safety standard, $36 million a kilometer to build. Again, it is eco-friendly, but it also must be built on flat ground. There's quite a bit more engineering goes into a monorail than there would be into Skyway. So you can see there, even at the most expensive part for a Skyway, we're still very, very cheap compared to the monorail. So it makes it very attractive to countries that are looking to put in large amounts of infrastructure. Sustainability, this is obviously a big buzzword that we're thinking about, and we do need to be thinking about it, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Yanitsky is a firm believer that if we do nothing, then the life as we know it will not exist within 3 generations. And that's quite a scary concept, or a scary reality when you think about it. So we've got a car there, 1,250%. Obviously, there are a lot of cars out on the road, and that is our biggest contributor to our environmental pollution. We've got the monorail sitting there just under 300%. The railway just under 250%. The maglev, magnetic levitation train, again, just under 250%. And we have Skyway there, which is actually well under 100% there. Interestingly enough, the most economic car, or the most efficient car on the road right now, is the Tesla. Skyway is 17 times more efficient than Tesla. So very, very exciting in that respect. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 15 stages of development for Skyway transport technologies. And again, you can see there, 1978 is when Dr. Yanitsky started his first research into it, if you like. 2014, they started doing the engineering, first clearing to say, okay, this is what we need to do to go ahead. And in 2015, they started building and construction. Fast forward right through to 2017, they've been through the demonstration and certification phase, ladies and gentlemen. The Unibus that you saw on there before and the Unibike are all certified products. And in fact, they had a certified Unibike at Dubai at the Future Cities Expo just recently in April. You can see there from 2017 and beyond, we are starting to look at technology adoption. And from 2018, it says ... It says that we're going to potentially go to IPO. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the business plan does say, hey, we're going to go to IPO in 2018. And if you know anything about business, a business plan is a fluid document, so it can change. Are we going to go to IPO in 2018? Probably not. Are we going to go in 2019? I don't know. How long is a piece of string? I mean, I honestly mean that. I would love that to happen, absolutely, but we don't know that for sure. We do know that the company fully intends to go to IPO. Now, in 2014, there was a valuation done based on the IP rights and the patents value of over $400 billion. Now, at that time, that's 400 billion with a B. At that time, they literally had drawings and patents. Now, fast forward 4 years, we have infrastructure in Ecotech Park. We have over 300 MOUs signed with more than 12 countries throughout the world. And there's been more than $100 million raised so far. That slide needs to be updated. It is more than $100 million raised so far. It's a fully transferable technology, meaning that we can literally put it anywhere and take one from another and put it on there. As again, there's 15 stages of development. Each one of those stages is a round of funding, essentially. Now, you'll see there at the top, and it's about to spin when I do that, we moved to stage 12 on the 25th of April, 2018. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is tomorrow. And I would suggest that there's probably going to be a rapid acceleration to completion to stage 15 in the very near future. Now, these are some of the countries that are already involved. Indonesia there, you can see their agreements, their MOUs. We've actually done that through the universities there in Indonesia to help with succession planning and things like that. Obviously, we're getting new engineers blooded in on our technology as to how they can put it in. You can see India under there as well. There's been a lot of progress made there over the last couple of years. They're very excited to be starting to implement that very soon. Belarus there, obviously, we've spoken about Belarus and how the Belarusian government did gift the land to Dr. Yanitsky to build Ecotech Park. Now, that top right picture, you can see Australia there. Now, that is Rod Hook. He was the Transport Minister for South Australia. He is incredibly excited about Skyway technology. So excited, in fact, he essentially got the rights to distribute that as a technology here in Australia. He is there in Belarus with Dr. Yanitsky and Michael Kalachenko. Under that, we've got Russia, we've got the Ukraine, we've got Ireland. Some of the countries you do not see on there, Tanzania, Kazakhstan. There are literally over a dozen countries that are involved already, ready to roll this out. and we're going to see something very, very exciting in the very, very near future. I can't say too much about that. So who are we? Ladies and gentlemen, that was the technology that we are here crowdfunding for. Who are we? I said right at the start that I represent a company called Skyway Invest Group. Skyway Invest Group is an educational investment portal. That's an important term. We are a trademark of Rail Skyway Systems, which is one of the parent companies of our technology. Our mission is to educate people about the importance of financial and investment education, and I certainly can attest to the importance of that, having lost a lot of money in my life. So this gentleman in front of us, Andre Harato, he is our CEO. He is a professional investor. So he has distilled all of his great knowledge and experience over the years, over 30 years investing, and put it into a program that we're able to use to help improve our own financial literacy and our own financial position in life. That's kind of exciting. I get asked this question a lot. Why are we crowdfunding? Why are we doing it? Why do we crowdfund? Why does Dr. Yanitsky not simply go down the traditional funding route, if you like, and talk to venture capitalists? Well, Dr. Yanitsky did go down that traditional route, and he did talk to venture capitalists, and he did talk to angel investors, but they all wanted too big a portion of his company. Now, what you need to understand is Dr. Yanitsky's big vision is to take all harmful industry into outer space. Now, I'm sure you can well imagine that for that to happen, you need to spend a lot of money. So he decided that he would build Skyway first, and that would help fund his big dream of taking all harmful industry to outer space. So that's why we're crowdfunding, so Dr. Yanitsky could keep a bigger share of his company so he can fulfill his dream and leave his legacy. Wealth creation education, again, this is why I'm passionate, one of the reasons I'm passionate about this company. A good foundational education in wealth creation is important. And I believe it's purposely left out of our education system. If we look there at the bottom left-hand side, we've got the cash flow quadrant, made famous by Robert Kiyosaki. If you're not sure what it is, well, it's the E, the S, and the B, and the I. On the left side, the poor side of the quadrant, we've got an employee in the first quadrant. And, you know, we're taught how to be an employee from the time we start at school. We're taught exactly what to think and how to think it, and then we're taught to go out and work. Now, if we become really, really good employees and become incredibly good at our craft, some of us go on to become self-employed. Okay, so you can earn a bit more money, which is awesome, and you can call your own hours, but you're still trading time for money, essentially. If we want to get wealthy, we need to get ourselves to the right-hand side of the quadrant. So we get to the B, which is big business. Now, that's a business that has 500 employees or more. Okay, or 500 people working in that organization. So a lot of MLM companies could be considered big business if they've got more than 500 people in their organization. The one we want to concentrate on, though, is the I, the investor quadrant. This is where money comes in while you sleep. Now, this is where our education gets everybody to. And we give everybody a kickstart in that. For participating in the education, you get equity in the technology that you've just seen. So what's in it for you guys? Well, I just sort of gave it a little bit. For participating in the wealth creation education, you get a gift of equity in the transport tech that I've just shown you that is about to roll out worldwide. You can do that one of three ways. You can get involved with a one-off purchase, if you like, a one-off EIP, educational investment package, or you can do it through installments, and I'll explain that as we go through. There are also promotional ones, and I'll go through that also. Now, the stage 10 discount you can see on the bottom there, they range from 1 to 75 to 1 to 160. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this will change once we move stages, and we're going straight from stage 10 to stage 12. That means we've done $50 million worth of funding in stage 10, where we only needed to do 25. So we're skipping a stage, so they will reduce significantly once we go through the stages. So you can see up there, this is your one-off or your standard EIP. So these are one-off purchases. They go from 10 units right through to 100,000 units. Now, every unit is $1. So if it's 10 units, it's $10. You can see there, $10 gets you 80 pipes. It gets you a Skyway bonus pipes of 80, which is a discount of 1 in 8. Meaning for every dollar spent, you'd get a gift of 8 pre-IPO private equity shares. When you get to 35 units, 420, you've got discount of 12. Obviously, the more you put in, the better discount you get, as I'm sure you can appreciate. So there you can see 1,000 units, you would receive 90,000 pre-IPO private equity shares. Now, what wasn't mentioned when I said about the valuation is that at that time, they were all given a par value. So there was literally, if there was a $400 billion value, there were 400 billion share parcels issued, meaning they have a par value of $1. That means that when they go to IPO, there's a potential of them listing at that price. So for 1,000 units, you can get 90,000 pre-IPO equity shares, and you can see it goes right through to 17 million pre-IPO equity shares for $100,000. We've got some installment examples here. If you decided, hey, I'd like to put in X amount of dollars, but I don't want to put it all in one lump sum, I'd like the opportunity to pay it off over 10 months, then you have the ability to do that through some of our installment packages. Again, these start from $10 a month, and they actually go right up to $50,000 a month if you'd like to. Now, the one that you can see in the middle there, the EIPI important, as the example, $2,500 a month for 10 months, obviously a total of $25,000, gives you a bonus of 3.5 million pre-IPO private equity shares. Now, remember what I said about the potential of what they're going to list at IPO. Ladies and gentlemen, there are also business opportunities. People have invited you here this evening to watch this video, and the reason they have done that is because they want to share the opportunity with you, and B, they're actually in business for themselves as well. So there are 6 potential income streams from what we offer here through Skyway Invest Group. Today, if you wanted to earn some money this week, then you could go out and start building a network. Now, this is different to any other traditional networking company you've probably ever seen, because if you made a sale today, you would get paid today. So that's pretty important. There's no monthly minimum requirements for you to meet. There is no monthly auto ship. There's no volume requirements for you to get paid. No, if you make a sale today, you get paid today, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so tomorrow you could become a company rep. Now, at any given time on any weekend, there's potentially 5 to 10 people delivering a training for the company. They are representing the company, and they are being rewarded for doing so. Everybody has that opportunity if they see the big vision. A percentage from contracts. If you are a company or regional rep in a certain location and you are there when they implement big contracts, there's a potential for you to earn a percentage from it. Project initiation. Now, this one has a caveat with it. You must be of a manager level, and I'll explain that to you on the next couple of slides. But you can participate in project initiation. So if you know some people in the development space, or you know some CEOs of some theme parks, for example, and you thought, hey, this technology would go really, really well there, and you speak with them and you start that implementation process, and they decide that they're going to put that in, then you can potentially earn from that as well. In the future, obviously, we've already mentioned that we're going to go to IPO, but this one right here is the kicker, ladies and gentlemen. Dividends. Dividend payments are amazing. These are the little things that will continue to come in while you sleep for the rest of your life. Now, Warren Buffett said it perfectly. He said, if you cannot work out how to create passive income, you will sleep until you die. Now, Warren Buffett has a lot of dividend income coming into his life. He's one of the wealthiest men in the world. Now, I liken dividends a little bit to royalties. Now, if you're aware who Elvis Presley was, he died 41 years ago this year in August. However, his estate still receives millions and millions of dollars each and every year from the work that he did through his music. It's called royalty income. Now, it is slightly different to dividends. However, the principle's the same in that they continue to come in. Now, I could liken dividends to George Stephenson, who is accredited to be the founder of the steam engine. In fact, he wasn't. It was Richard Trevithick. However, George Stephenson did bring it to rail, and that's where it got famous. He is responsible for all of British Rail's networks. British Rail doesn't exist anymore, but his great-great-great-grandchildren still receive billions and billions of dollars of dividend income each and every year for the work that he did. This is the potential we are talking about right here with the technology I've been through this evening. So I talked about some promotional packages. Well, these ones right here will change after the 25th. However, right now, as a fast-track qualification, you could become an express consultant for $3,500 US. That would get you 400,000 pre-IPO private equity shares. It would get you into the Master Profi training for free, which is worth $1,300. It's a live-in 3-day course where your meals and accommodation are paid for currently. That may change in the future. Unlimited earning potentials, and you become your own business entity, meaning that you can go out and present this opportunity to pretty much anyone. You could also become an express manager. As a manager, you get 3 million pre-IPO private equity shares. You also get the same free master profit training worth $1,300. You get unlimited earning potentials. You become a business entity. But here's the kicker, ladies and gentlemen. You get to participate in project initiation. So that means if you know somebody that we spoke about before, a developer, somebody in a theme park perhaps, then you can participate in that project initiation by coming in at the manager level for $20,000 US. The marketing plan here with Skyway Invest Group is very, very straightforward. If you invite anyone into the organization, you'll receive 8% of whatever they want to put in. That goes right through to president. On your second level, i.e. if they introduce someone, then you would get 7% right through to president. Third level, as a partner, you would receive 3%. As an agent, you would receive 5% right through to president, as you see right there. On the fourth level, the partner no longer gets paid. So partners only get paid to level 3. Agents get paid to level 4. And then it goes to 4%, again, right through to president. Now, on our fifth level, the agent also drops off from payment, and only as a consultant will you get paid from your fifth level and below. At the fifth level, from consultant through to president, you go 3% right through to president. From your sixth level and below, you can see there is a variance of percentages. 1.5 to 3% as a consultant, and so on. Each one basically goes up as a percentage right through to president. As a manager, to get that 3 to 4%, you would start at 3% as soon as you hit manager. Once you had a manager on your front line, you would go to 3.2%. Once you had a second manager on your front line, you would go to 3.5%. Once you had a third manager, 3.8%. And once you hit 4 managers on your front line, you would go to 4%. But that would also put you to leader manager, and you would start that cycle all over again. It is incredibly simple when you look at it. If you want that explained any further, you can go back to your upline. So how can you start, ladies and gentlemen? It is incredibly simple. Register and complete your verification process today. Very straightforward. Anybody that has invited you here this evening can help you with that process. Learn about the product, the company, and of course, learn the business inside and out. If you are serious and want to learn more about it, there is heaps of information there that you can, so that you can confidently talk to other people about what we have in front of us. Tap into one of the many Facebook groups that are available. There's plenty of information available in those, and you can also ask heaps of questions of anybody that is in there. Invite others. Ladies and gentlemen, these webinars run 3 or 4 times a week, maybe even more, in various time zones, so you can tap into that. Ask in the Facebook groups, not a problem at all, but invite others here so they can help you build your business as well. So you can see here, the photos in front of us are in fact Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. That building on the left-hand side at the top there is the Burj Khalifa. It is the tallest building in the world. Now, the reason this is up there is because we did feature at the Future Cities Expo in Dubai last week, and our high-speed rail did feature quite heavily on the promo reel, and our stand was right next to the government stand at that expo. There's potential that this is possibly where our high-speed testing facility will go. There's nothing official about that yet, so really it's just pie in the sky for me from what I'm saying, but there's a very high potential of it, and I think that's kind of exciting. Keeping in mind that 15, 20 years ago, Dubai was just a sandpit, and right now it's one of the most evolving, or fastly evolving cities in the world. Fastly, is that even a word? Quickly evolving cities in the world. So the opportunity summary, ladies and gentlemen, you have an opportunity here to become an educated professional investor. You can grow your business and have unlimited earning potential. It really is capped only by your imagination. You can create passive income streams. Remember, Warren Buffett said, if you don't find passive income, you'll work until you die. I'm not interested in doing that, and I'm sure you're not either. You can create a Skyway portfolio worth billions, ladies and gentlemen. I do not say that lightly. The people that get involved right now, okay, now I mentioned that we were our portal, okay? The people that get involved right now will be exposed to multiple different opportunities that they can have ownership and equity in companies that will give them returns for life. And that is very exciting. The people that get that vision right now will likely become billionaires with that. Obviously, it comes down to the work ethic and what you want to put into it. You can help others and leave a legacy. I know this is important for so many people. I know of people that are going to build orphanages with some of the dividend payments they're going to receive. I personally want to start a school where we teach people how they learn rather than what they should learn. I know people that want to set up foundations for domestic abuse victims, and they're all such big things that people want to set up. Do what you love and follow your passion. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm incredibly passionate about financial education because I know what it's like. I know what it's like to live life with a bit of money, and then I also know what it's like to have it all taken away from you and have to start again from scratch. If I'd have had this education back then, I might be telling you a different story today, but ladies and gentlemen, it's that important. Okay, so if there are any questions of anyone, just feel free to jump out and ask them now. If I don't get them, obviously we'll end. It's pretty much that simple. So if you do have any questions, feel free to jump out and ask. If you're listening on the live stream, then by all means, jump out and ask on there, and I'll scroll through the questions. If I don't get them answered on this live presentation, then I will come back and answer them into the comments on the live stream. All right, guys, no one's jumped out here currently, but no. All right, guys, so I'm going to wrap it up there. If somebody has invited you here this evening, then please, by all means, go back and talk to them about how you can get involved and how you can get yourself a piece of history. If you're one of my friends and want to know more, then by all means, private message me. But go back to the people that invited you here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me be the first to congratulate you on making a decision to get started with us, and I wish you all the very best in the future. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a great evening. We'll talk soon.